Hi guys, Melissa here at TCT Crafts. Welcome. Today we're going to be doing another Easter design. So Easter is next month. This will probably be one of my last Easter designs. I might do one more, but we're going to be doing a grapevine. We're going to be using our white and pink bunny sign. And so all I've done to get this little guy attached is I used a jewelry hole punch, and I just punched some little holes in 3 locations right here. And I used my floral wire and got it wired in. So that's all I did to get him situated. And I had just this little bit of pink ribbon left from another project. So I went ahead and just did a simple 1 loop bow and got it attached to our grapevine up there as well. So let's go ahead and get started greening our base. We're just going to be using our ficus leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this. You can cut these into 3 sections. I'm going to go ahead and just snip these off. And let's cut up at least 2. We'll probably use 3. But let's go ahead and get these snipped. Okay. And then if we need that 3rd one, we will. So I'm just going to take my ficus leaf. I'm just going to sort of give it a bend. Make it sort of come alive so it's not flat and boring. And this one's going to sit right up in here. Okay, so I'm just going to put that straight down into that grapevine. Let me get another glue stick added to my glue pot before we get moving and grooving. So I'm getting low in there. Okay. I'm going to go in with another piece. Again, I'm just going to kind of give it some bend. This one's going to sit right in about right there. Just going to push that down in there. Okay, let's get another piece. I'm going to give it some shape. We don't want flat leaves. So that's going to go right in there. We're just going around, just sort of greening our base with this ficus. Ficus is an inexpensive greenery that works really well for greening out the base of your grapevines. This one I think we're going to stick in right about there. Okay. This one I'm going to cut my stem down a little bit. I don't need it that long. We're going to come in right about here. Again, I'm just giving it some bend. And it's going to look a little crazy right now until we get our other items added. Okay. Now let's go in with this piece. And I want it to sit right in here. And I'm not having it sit flat on my grapevine. I'm putting the stems in so that, you know, it's coming away from our grapevine a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to let that glue set. We can mess with them a little bit later after the glue dries. I don't want to play too much with it until it dries. Okay, we're going to go in with this third piece. Okay, let's go about right. I'm going to say, let's do the taller piece for there. So here I'm going to go kind of right in this area. That one I can see is sticking out the back of my grapevine a little bit, so I'm just going to pull it back out just a hair. Okay. I'm going to go in with this longer piece. It's going to go right up at the top. Just caught that leaf on there, so let me pull that out, and I'm just going to trim that because I got glue all on it. That happens occasionally. Don't worry about it, just snip it off. There we go. I got a little carried away getting that one in there. Okay, I have one more piece. This is going to go in right about here. Okay, so we've just kind of got our ficus all the way around. Now we're going to go in with another greenery. I'm going to go in with our ivy bush. This is our, let me double check so I'm not telling you the wrong name. This is our cottage ivy bush. Okay, so we're just going to go in with some of this ivy. I'm going to pull the stems apart. And this is, I had some of this left from another project, so I'm using the rest of the stems here. Cut this down. Okay, and again, I'm just going to kind of play with it, shake hands with it. I'm going to stick this one right up at the top. Okay, after that glue dries, we'll kind of blend them a little bit. I'm going to cut my stem down on this one. So with every stem, just kind of shake it, play with it, give it some movement. We don't want it flat and boring. Okay. So I'm going a little bit on the inside of where I put that ficus, and we'll blend it in a minute once the glue dries. Get a smaller piece here. And if they come apart a little bit when you tear them, just take one of the wires and just kind of twist it around there. Whoops. Just about fell over. Tripping on my own self here. Okay. We'll let that glue dry. Cut this one down just a little bit. Let's see, we got a few more pieces. I'm just working my way all the way around. This one, let me cut just a little bit. Go right down in that grapevine right there. Over here. So our little bunny is going to be nice and sort of tucked in this little forest here that we got going. I like it. Okay, a couple more pieces. So this one will be, you know, with the bunny, it's Easter, but it's not going to be heavily, you could, what I'm trying to say is you could use this like throughout, even after Easter, because Easter's early this year. You could leave it up into April. It's going to be springy. This one won't have to come down right after Easter. Okay, I'm going to let that glue dry a second before we play with that a little bit. I've got one little piece. Actually, I got two pieces here. So let me see where I want to fill these in. Okay, I think we need a piece right in here. And I got one more. Let's go, let me see. Let's go right in here. Okay, so now I'm going to go back. We started on this side. My glue should be drier, and I'm just going to start kind of blending these together a little bit. And giving them a little bit more shape, a little bit more bend. I'm going to turn my leaves the right way so that we're not seeing the back. Okay. Very pretty already. All right. Now let's go in. We're going to use our Long Beach fern. And this is in the mauve and green color. I think it's really pretty. Let's see if we can get a close up a little bit. So it's a really pretty mauve and green. So I'm going to cut this. I think I'm going to leave it together. I thought I was going to cut it, but I think I'm going to leave it. Let me just trim the stem because I don't need it that long. Let me see if I want to cut it. I think I am going to cut it. So I'm going to cut it right. You can pull these down and I'm going to cut it right there. Okay, so now that's going to give us 2 pieces. So we're going to use 2 of these at least. I brought 3, but let's see if we can just use 2. So again, I'm going to take and cut this right in the center. That's going to give us 2 pieces. I'm going to cut this one down. There we go. Okay, so some glue on this. That right there. Let's go up underneath here. This one we're going to go towards the bottom, right in this area. Now this grapevine is not the best grapevine. It's a little loose. It's probably one that came from Michael's or Walmart. They are not my favorite grapevines, but you know, they're inexpensive, and it's what I had on hand, so we're going to make it work. Okay, I have a third one that we may bring in. Yeah, I think we're going to need the third one because I definitely want a piece right in there. So let me go ahead and cut up our last one. So we'll get 2 more pieces out of this one. Okay. Let me step back a second and see where I want to put this. Where I want to put this last piece. It's going to go in here. I think I'm going to move this piece over just a hair. So I'm going to move this piece over, and then we're going to put this piece right in there. I'm going to let that glue dry a little bit before we play too much with it. Okay. Now let's start working around our bow. So we're going to use our cute little Easter egg tulip sprays. These are just so cute. I'm going to cut them into 2 pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to split it right like that. I'm going to have to use my cutters. Okay, I'm going to take the first little piece. I'm going to cut my stem a little shorter. And I'm going to go right up around our bow. We're going to start filling in around our bow. I'm going to go right in. On that side. Okay, I'm going to take my other piece. And again, I'm just, giving them some bend. Shaking them around a little bit. We're going to start filling in around our bow. Okay, let's get another one. We're going to do the same thing. Get 2 pieces out of it. Okay, let's go in underneath. Okay, and I'm going to go in on this side over here. I'm just going to blend these a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to take our last one. If you want to, you can use another one. These are not the cheapest florals, so I was trying to keep the cost down just a little bit. And only using the 3, but you definitely could go in with another one. So we've got kind of a cluster around the bow. I'm going to do kind of diagonal. I'm going to kind of add some down this way. Again, if you were going to add more, you could kind of go all the way around. Last piece here. I'm just twisting these stems back together. So when I pulled it apart, sometimes they fall apart. Okay. Now I'm going to go right underneath here. Okay, so we have our little tulip egg clusters up here by the bow, and then diagonal right in here. Now I want to bring in, we want to fill in these spaces that we haven't filled in with our tulips. So I'm going to just use a berry bush. So I'm going to use this berry wildflower bush, and we're going to use it to fill in those other spots that didn't have our tulip and egg picks. So I'm just going to pull these into 3. I'm just going to go right in here. I'm going to let the glue on that set for a second, and then we'll come back and play with it a little bit. So this is bringing in some more of our pink, a few of our few little flowers, but it's tying in nicely with those berries. I'm going to let that dry just a little bit. Okay, we're going to go in the top, up at the top with this one. Okay, this piece we're going to go and take it over here by this fern. I'm going to let the glue dry, and then we'll kind of blend a little bit more. Okay, let's get our last one. Now, if you wanted to stop here, just blend. Very pretty, you could totally stop here. But I'm going to go ahead and add just this one last push in. Okay. Now this one we're going to go and just kind of spread it out a little bit. Go right in here with it. I don't like the stem on that, so I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it down a little bit. It was a little too long. So if you don't like it, just pull it out before the glue and before it dries. You can just pull it out and just start over. There we go. I'm going to let the glue dry on that for a minute. I'm going to go right up underneath this bow with a piece. blend those together with our tulips in a minute. Okay, we got a spot right in here. We need a little bit more. And let's put a piece right there. They're going to put a piece right in down at the bottom, right by his little hiney. I'm going to go right down, straight in there. Let that dry. I just love how he's just kind of tucked in there. He's just hiding there in the grass. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece. It's our last piece. And let's just add it. Let me see. Take one more peek before I commit. I think we need a piece in here. Okay. Let me get rid of some of these glue strings, and then we're going to go and just kind of blend these together a little bit. Want to make sure you get rid of your glue strings before you take your pictures. Okay. I'm just going to take and just kind of blend some of these in with our ivy and our fern and our little tulips. And have these, a couple of these kind of going up. Want our little tulip egg to show there. Give these a bend them how you want them. They're all wired. That's the nice thing about working with the artificial flowers. So this past week around Valentine's, I was doing flower arrangements, working with real florals. And though it's fun, it's not quite the same when they won't, because real flowers, you can't get them to bend how you like them. And that's the good thing about working with artificial florals is you can tell them where to go. Okay, so I'm just going to pull my little tulip up a little bit more in there. I'm going to pull this one down. Let me step back. I think that it's turning out really pretty. I'm going to fix these over here a little bit. So I might go in with one more little piece of ficus right in on the side here. This side looks a little heavier on the ficus, so I didn't bring any with me. So I'm gonna go probably take two more pieces of ficus. I'm just gonna put it here and right here, and it's just gonna kind of fill this side in just a little bit more. I went a little heavier on the ficus on this side compared to this side. It's just something picky that I'm doing. You could leave it. It's just something I see, so I'm going to fill it in right here and right here. But I think it turned out beautifully. It's our gorgeous little design. I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, bye y'all.